What if I told you that one of the most ambitious fantasy epics of the decade, backed by a billion-dollar studio, critically praised and beloved worldwide, has just been officially cancelled? That's right, The Wheel of Time gone. Done. Over after just 3 seasons. Let that sink in. Because this isn't just any show, this is the one that helped launch Prime Video into the fantasy arena. This was the show that introduced an entire generation to the world of Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. And yet, despite delivering its strongest season yet with a 97% Rotten Tomatoes score, its highest ever, the axe has come down. Why? How? What does this mean for the future of fantasy shows? And what did the final episode really mean now that it's the end? Stay with me, because we're unpacking the real reason The Wheel of Time got cancelled, how fans are reacting, and whether there's any hope left for more stories in this universe. Let's get into it. The official word dropped like a thunderbolt. Over a month after the Season 3 finale aired on April 17th, Prime Video made the stunning decision: no Season 4. The studio reportedly went through long, intense deliberations before pulling the plug, and it all came down to one cold, brutal reality: money. Despite being creatively beloved by Prime Video's execs, yes, they loved the direction of the series, the cost was just too high. This was a premium fantasy show after all, with sweeping landscapes, magical battles, intricate effects, and a massive ensemble cast. Even though the show remained a global hit, even hitting #1 on Prime Video in multiple countries, it simply didn't bring in the numbers in key regions like the US to justify its mammoth budget. Nielsen data showed a clear dip in Season 3 viewership, dropping out of the top 10 originals list just 3 weeks in, while Seasons 1 and 2 stayed on that list for their entire runs. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The Wheel of Time wasn't just a domestic play, it was a global fantasy juggernaut. But streaming renewal decisions? They're not just about fans, or critical acclaim, or even awards buzz. They're about cost versus performance. And unfortunately, even a passionate fandom and glowing reviews can't overcome bottom-line economics in today's ultra-competitive streaming landscape. This is part of a larger trend. Streaming services, including Prime Video, are cutting back on expensive genre shows unless they deliver stratospheric results like what we see with The Boys or The Rings of Power. Fantasy is risky, costly, and hard to sustain unless it's constantly topping charts. And sadly, Season 3 of The Wheel of Time, while strong creatively, didn't light the viewership numbers on fire. Let's not forget what The Wheel of Time accomplished. When it premiered in 2021, it was Prime Video's biggest launch of the year, one of their top 5 premieres ever. It was huge. With Rosamund Pike leading the cast as the enigmatic Moiraine Damodred, the series introduced us to a vast and intricate world blending politics, prophecy, magic, and war with unforgettable performances. The casting was on point. From Daniel Henney as Lon, Josh Stradowski as Rand al'Thor, to Zoe Robin's fierce Nynaeve and Madeline Madden's powerful Egwene, this show built something epic. Fans connected with these characters in a deep way, and every season improved on the last. Season 1, 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. Season 2, jumped to 86%. And Season 3, a near-perfect 97%. Critics agreed the show was only getting better. But still, it wasn't enough. Now here's something fans can at least take comfort in. Knowing cancellation was on the table, the creators crafted Season 3's finale to offer closure. This wasn't some abrupt cliffhanger or a mid-story dump. It was designed to feel like an ending to honor the fans, the characters, and the journey so far. And thank goodness for that. Imagine investing 3 seasons into a show, only to be left hanging in the middle of a battle. Thankfully, The Wheel of Time gave us an emotionally satisfying and powerful send-off. But for die-hard fans, it's still a gut punch, especially knowing the creative team had big plans for what came next. The fandom is not taking this lightly. Social media exploded after the news dropped, with hashtags, petitions, and emotional tributes flooding timelines. Many believe Season 3 was the series' best yet, and they're devastated that it won't continue. And yet, the legacy lives on, with Prime Video and Sony Pictures TV still pushing hard for Emmy nominations this year. They're backing the show in multiple categories, and honestly, it deserves every bit of that recognition. Rosamund Pike, in particular, has been a powerhouse from the very first episode, and the work done by the cast and crew in bringing Robert Jordan's world to life is nothing short of extraordinary. What makes this sting even more is what could have been. According to showrunner Rafe Judkins, there were plans to go deep into the second half of Jordan's saga. New factions, ancient prophecies, game-changing battles, all were on the table for future seasons. The character arcs were just getting started. Rand's destiny? Far from fulfilled. Nynaeve's growth? Unfinished. The showdown with the Dark One? Barely scratched the surface. There were still so many unanswered questions, so many journeys yet to be taken. And that's the heartbreak of it. Not just what we've lost, but what we'll never get to see. So where does this leave us? The Wheel of Time may be cancelled, but it's not forgotten. It stands as a monumental achievement in modern fantasy television. It paved the way for shows like Rings of Power, it elevated the genre on streaming platforms, and most importantly, it connected deeply with fans around the globe. 3 seasons, 1 epic ride, and now, a legacy. It may be the end of the road for now, but who knows? Maybe one day, in a different form, in a different place, the wheel will turn once more. Until then, thank you, cast and crew. Thank you, Rafe Judkins. And thank you, the fans, for keeping the flame alive. And that's all for now, gang. Let me know in the comments how you feel about The Wheel of Time ending? Heartbroken? Hopeful? Holding out for a miracle? And don't forget to hit that like button if this show meant something to you and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Love you, gang.